no lives matter. This is a straight war. I'll be real with you. It's just war. We're at war. This isn't like they say. There's no friends at war. So I respect the guy. As you said, he's done well. All that good stuff, but we're fighting.
I'll be honest with you, I don't want to go get my head bashed in. Sparring is sparring, and we can see some sort of technicality being shown. Now, a lot of people are calling it fake. They're saying that it's set up.
Jared Anderson, Lawrence Okoli, some of the best the sport's got in the heavyweight division. And he said there's no way these guys are actually going in there and sparring to the full extent. Look, you're a fighter. You've had so many camps throughout your life. Do you think Jake is almost asking them to go easy, or do you think this is proper sparring going on?
The point of sparring is to learn. The point of sparring is not for them to get in there and give Jake a concussion so he can't fight.
Anthony Joshua openly challenges the credibility of Jake Paul's so-called knockout sparring clips, making it clear that what's shown online doesn't reflect genuine combat reality. He explains that authentic sparring is built on balance, pressure, and equal resistance, not carefully framed moments made to impress viewers. Joshua believes that edited footage can create illusions, but once the gloves are on and the bell sounds, honesty replaces hype. Still, despite questioning the authenticity of those videos, he makes it clear that Paul should not be dismissed lightly and deserves acknowledgement for stepping into a demanding sport.
As a boxer?
Yeah, definitely. He's always wanted to be a boxer. He's got a stand-up game. I respect him as a boxer, definitely, yeah, I have to.
Several boxing experts have raised serious doubts about Jake Paul's release training visuals, pointing out that only flattering moments are shared with the public. They argue that showcasing isolated knockdowns without full rounds hides weaknesses and avoids scrutiny. According to these critics, displaying 3 or 4 uninterrupted rounds would offer a more honest evaluation of performance. They also highlight that the fighter seen getting dropped lacks elite-level skills, making clean shots far easier to land compared to a world-class heavyweight. These factors fuel skepticism about whether those clips truly represent Paul's readiness or his ability to compete against top-tier professionals.
Sparring videos, that I agree with that. If we're going to see that clip of you knocking this guy down, we want to see at least a full round. We want to see what you're actually doing. If you're going to show us knocking this guy down, show us more. Is his opponent any good? Okay, that's another very good question. His opponent may just be, and we couldn't really see much of him there. He didn't really throw a shot. His opponent might be a nobody. His opponent might be a guy who started Box Fit a few weeks ago. So that's a very good point. It's things like this we have to actually ask when we, boxers essentially putting up videos of them knocking people out. Who is this guy? You need to know that, because then that kind of qualifies that knockout or knockdown to be good or bad. Cheap shot in sparring. That wasn't a cheap shot.
Andrew Tate adds another layer to the discussion by questioning the effort level of the heavyweights sparring with Jake Paul. He explains that real training environments are meant to push fighters to uncomfortable limits. Yet these sessions appear restrained. Tate suggests that financial arrangements influence the dynamic, meaning the partners focus on participation rather than domination. As a result, punches lack full force, pressure is softened, and defensive challenges are minimal. While such sessions may help Paul practice movement and timing, Tate insists they fall short of simulating the chaos and danger of facing a fully committed elite opponent.
I think that's everything wrong with the sport.
I think as a boxing purist, it's quite upsetting to watch, young fighters struggle to pay the bills and struggle in little shithole gyms around the country trying to get big money fights and going through the Olympics and going through the amateurs and not being able to pay their bills. And I understand how frustrating that can be. So I think that's where the frustration comes from. I don't think it's everything that's wrong with boxing. I think that anything that gets people to tune in to a boxing match is good for the sport.
One more comment that he said was, Jake's been sparring Frank Sanchez, Jared Anderson, Lawrence Okoli, some of the best the sport's got in the heavyweight division. And he said there's no way these guys are actually going in there and sparring to the full extent. Look, you're a fighter. You've had so many camps throughout your life. Do you think Jake is almost asking them to go easy, or do you think this is proper sparring going on?
The point of sparring is to learn. The point of sparring is not for them to get in there and give Jake a concussion so he can't fight. So are they trying to knock Jake out? No. But are they giving him enough work for him to learn? I like to think so.
Aretha Davies delivered a blunt warning while discussing Jake Paul, emphasizing that danger arrives quickly when ambition exceeds experience. Recalling the brutal knockout he once witnessed involving Francis Ngannou, Davies stressed that this matchup carries consequences many fans underestimate. He argues that facing a battle-tested powerhouse like Anthony Joshua introduces threats Paul has never encountered. According to Davies, the moment the fight begins, fantasy disappears, and reality takes control, turning this contest into a serious examination of courage and capability rather than a promotional performance.
Go on.
And I watched him knock out Francis Ngannou inside 2 rounds.
Yeah.
How can that go 3 rounds with
Well,
Jake Paul?
It's very hard to knock out somebody that's just hasn't come to fight. It's somebody that's just trying to survive. And that's what I think will happen to
Do you
Jake
think
Paul.
he'll run?
I think
Get on the ropes and
he'll
move
run
around?
like a thief in the night. Once he sees the size of Joshua, those little 10-ounce gloves that they're going to be wearing, he's going to be petrified, and his backside will fall out.
I went to the press conference in Miami for that a couple of weeks ago, and he was planning to motorboat AJ, and he thought differently of it when he was standing with
Good
him.
luck with that, mate.
No, AJ was, he'd have got motorboated out of there.
Listen, mate, listen. Good luck with that, because if he starts out with AJ, puts his chin out and starts trying to goad him in, I think Anthony Joshua will definitely iron him out early.
Do you think he finishes his boxing career then?
Let's hope so.
If Jake Paul does something weird and wins, is that impossible?
Nothing's impossible. Nothing is impossible. Highly unlikely, but not impossible.
If you'd been invited to fight Jake Paul for 25, I've heard it's 25 million. That's me behind the scenes. Other people have told me it's 60. Other people have told me it's more for Anthony Joshua. If you had been a current world champion and you'd been offered that fight with Jake Paul, would you have taken it?
100%.
So he had to take it.
He had to take
So
it.
you've got nothing against him taking
I've
it?
got nothing against him taking it, spending the money even. Still got nothing against that. My concern is for the health and safety of Jake Paul and the sport of boxing.
Because boxing will be pulled into the dock if something happens to Jake. It would
And-
never have been licensed in the UK, would it?
No.
Jake Paul has openly spoken about the harsh reality of his recent training camps, admitting that sessions with high-level heavyweights have taken a physical toll on his body, even leaving him bloodied and injured. While promotional footage highlights explosive moments, deeper analysis paints a more complicated picture. Observers reviewing the sessions noticed exaggerated reactions from some sparring partners, including movements toward the ropes after relatively light contact. This has led analysts to caution that while the clips may excite casual audiences, they don't necessarily indicate true fight readiness, especially against a veteran powerhouse known for precision, durability, and devastating strength.
Is move a couple millimeters to this camp. I'm not gonna lie, this sparring the heavyweights, my nose had a slight little something in there. A guy by the name of Frank Sanchez, he definitely cracked it a little bit. But yeah, man, it's bad. Hey, hold on. Look at that, dude. I'm like Squidward, dog. But don't respect me for getting in there. Respect me when I beat his ass. I'm not just walking into a fight. I'm going to win. That's what's gonna shock the world. I will become the king of boxing and own the whole entire sport.